Hey everybody, I just wanted to check in with you about week one, discussion one. You've all been doing a really great job just sort of getting started with this whole concept of applying the facts to a hypothetical situation and then teasing out the legal principles that you're being asked to understand and apply, which is what legal analysis is all about. So very well done. The topic of jurisdiction is super complicated. I think in law school we spent, I don't know, a month on it. And that was dedicated classes just about the law, just about jurisdiction, reading very complicated cases, having lots of class discussions, and here you're being asked to do very elevated analysis in our first discussion. So I think you're up to the challenge, but I thought I'd weigh in here and give you some tips. The trick with jurisdiction is that it basically is the gateway, because in order to decide if you're going to have a case that shows up in state court or in federal court, you have to meet a certain set of requirements called jurisdiction requirements in order to have the option to go into federal court. And there are reasons about why federal court might be more favorable for you. It always seems to me, when I argue in federal court, that it's just a little more organized and orderly, and state court can feel like a bit of a zoo because you have to pass a threshold, a jurisdictional threshold, to get into federal court. Okay, so in our question, when we're talking about Javier and Energy Auto Inc., a lot of you are saying correctly that diversity jurisdiction doesn't apply here. But for argument's sake, let's assume that it did. Let's assume we don't have a federal question here, which means that we don't have an issue of federal law that we're asking the court to interpret and apply. So the only other way that we're going to get through that door and into federal court, the only way we're going to have like a key that says jurisdiction on it, and we're going to be able to unlock that door to federal court, is if the parties reside in two separate states and if they're fighting about something that's worth more than $75,000, okay? That's not the case here. Because of where the parties reside, where they live, okay? But if it were the case, federal court is just an option. A lot of us are saying that the parties would have to go to federal court. No. The person who wanted to be there would file a motion to change the case, to move it, that's not the legal term, but would want to move it to federal court, and they could opt to do that. But no one is forced to be in federal court just because they meet the set of requirements that is set by jurisdictional rules. Does that make sense? Just wanted to clarify that for you because we need to be careful that we aren't making assumptions when we are posting in our discussion boards. You're doing really well. Please let me know if you have any questions. We're about to hop on to our first week team huddle in our Zoom conference. So I hope to see you all there. Thanks.